Good morning, students. Welcome back again. I hope you all are fit and fine and doing well. This is grade 9 mathematics, chapter number 5, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry, exercise 5.1. So let's start. What is the exercise 5.1? Question number first, true and false. Okay, here we have to check which statements are true or which one are false. So first one, only one line can pass through a single point. So it's a false statement. Okay, why it's a false statement? Because as we know that if we have any single point, we can draw infinitely many points which is passes through given point. Okay, so this is a false statement. Now what is the second one? There are an infinite number of lines which pass through two distinct points. Again, if we take two distinct points like this, then we can draw only one line which is pass of those two distinct points. We cannot draw second line which is passing on both the points. Okay, it is unique line by axiom 5.1. By Euclid's axiom 5.1 says there are unique line which is passing through two distinct points. So this statement again false. Okay. Now third one, a terminated line can be produced indefinitely on both the sides. Yes, it's a correct one, because look, if we have one line segment, we can terminate both the sides infinitely way. Okay, so this is a true statement. Third one is, now for if two circles are equal, then radii are equal. Yes, again this is a true statement, because if we draw a two same circle, then obviously the radii of these two circles are same. These two radii are same if these two circles are same. Okay. Now fifth one, in figure, if AD is equal to PQ and PQ is equal to XY, then AD is equal to XY. Yes, by axioms 1, AD is equal to PQ, then obviously AD is equal to XY. That means this is a true statement. This is a true. In short, first two statements are false and remaining are true statement. Got it, everyone? Now look, second question, define these four words. So what is the first definition? Parallel lines. What is the parallel lines? In previous grade you have already completed this all definition. Even though I recall them, what is the parallel lines? Those lines are said to be a parallel lines if they are not meet at anywhere and distance between them are constant at everywhere. Got it? That means they do not meet any point. Okay. Now what is a perpendicular lines? Those two lines are said to be perpendicular lines if they intersect at 90-degree angle. Suppose this is a one line and this is a second line. Both are intersect. If both are intersect at 90 degree, then those lines are perpendicular to each other. Got it? Now what is a line segment? Line segment is nothing but it's a part of a line. You can simply write this, it's a part of a line, or you can more write like a part of a line with two endpoints. Okay, it's said to be a line segment. Suppose this is a line segment with two endpoints A and B. That's it. Okay. Now what is the radius of a circle? Again, radius is a line segment whose one end is center and second end is on circle. Suppose this is a radius. So this is a basically one type of line segment whose one end point is the center and second end point on a circle. It's said to be a radius of circle. Okay. Now what is a square? Square is a quadrilateral. If all angles and all sides are same, then those quadrilateral is said to be a square. Okay. Now look, question number 3. Consider two postulates given below. First, given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is in between A and B. Now, second one, there exist at least 3 points that are not on the same line. Do this postulate contain any undefined term? Yes, of course, because if we give you the definition of line, before the definition of line we have to know that what is the point. Okay, so here point, look, this is undefined term, so we can say that yes, there is an undefined term. And what is the second question? Are these postulates consistent? Yes, because both are referred to different things. That means both are consistent. That means existence, or logically both are different or not. Consistent, that means logically both are same or not. So easily both are different. So it's a consistent. And last one, do they follow Euclid's postulate? Explain. These two postulates are follow Euclid's postulate or not? So no, this is not apply on a Euclid's postulate. So this is all about question number 3. Okay, go through question number 1, 2 and 3. Now look, example number 4. If a point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC is equal to BC, then prove that AC is equal to half of AB. Explain by drawing the figure. So first of all, I draw a figure. C lies between 2 points A and B. Suppose this is our point B and this is our point A, and C lies between these 2 points. And here we have conditions. AC is equal to BC. AC and BC both are same. That means this is the midpoint of AB, obviously. Okay. So what is it? We have to prove that AC is equal to AB upon 2. So first of all, I write this given condition: AC is equal to BC. Okay. Now I add both the side AC. So what happened? AC plus AC is equal to BC plus AC. Now AC plus AC will become 2AC. And what is the sum of these two? So look figure. BC plus AC is total part AB. So I write here AB. Now transfer to on the right side. So AC is equal to AB upon 2. This is our requirement. Hence the result. Look, AC is equal to AB upon 2. Got it, everyone? Okay. Now look, question number 5. In question 4, that means this above one. C is called a midpoint of line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. Okay. In this example, this is a midpoint of AB, and we have to prove here there is a unique midpoint of any line segment. So we give this proof by contradiction part. So initially we assume that suppose there is another point D which is a midpoint of AB. So first of all, I draw again figure this AB. Suppose this is AB and this is a midpoint. This is given midpoint. So C is a midpoint. That means we can write AC is equal to AB upon 2. Okay, we can write because we proved that previously. Okay, now let D is a midpoint of AB. So I can write like this. AD similar way, AD is equal to AB upon 2. This is our second equation. Now look, these two equations, right side are same. That means AC is equal to AD. Therefore I write AC is equal to AD. Okay. Now this equation says us this is only possible when C and D both points are overlapping. So this is C and D both are overlap to each other. That means both are not a different point, both are same point. That's why we say that D is a midpoint of AB or C is a midpoint of AB. That means there is a unique midpoint of any line segment. Got it? Okay. Now look, question number 6. In figure, if AC is equal to BD, here we given that AC is equal to BD, and then prove that AB is equal to CD. So first of all, I write AC is equal to BD. This is given. Okay. Now what is AC? So look figure. AC is nothing but AB plus BC. So I write here AB plus BC. And similarly, what is BD? So BD is equal to BC plus CD. BC plus CD. Because A, B, C, D all are collinear points. Okay. Here this figure given figure. Now what is BC? BC cancel. So we have AB is equal to CD. Yes, this is our destination. We have to prove that AB is equal to CD. Okay. Now next question 7. Why is axiom 5 in list of Euclid's axioms considered a universal truth? So first of all, what is the axioms 5 of Euclid? So axiom 5 is nothing but whole part is a greater than of inner part. So it is a truth because it is a true for everywhere. That why we take it's a universal truth. So your answer will be like this. It is obviously true for everywhere. That means axiom 5 is a universal truth. Got it? Okay. Go through all examples. Now look, exercise 5.2. Here we have two questions. First one, how do you rewrite Euclid's fifth postulate so that it would be easier to understand? As you know that Euclid's fifth postulate is nothing but representation of definition of parallel line. So here you have to write down the definition of parallel line. And what is the definition of parallel lines? Those lines are said to be a parallel line if they do not meet at anywhere and distance between them are constant everywhere. Okay. So this is a representation of definition of parallel line. And second question, does Euclid's fifth postulates imply the existence of parallel lines? Explains. Yes, of course, because in above question, in this question, we declare already the Euclid's fifth postulate is a representation of parallel line. So obviously, we imply Euclid's fifth postulate in the existence of parallel line. And why? We have to explain here. So we can write, because if the sum of interior angles equal to the two right angles, then it is not intersect at anywhere. So it's a easy one. So this is all about these two questions. I hope you all have understood. Okay. Go through example and thank you very much.